Your new life doesn't happen overnight. You've got to do your reps. So welcome back to Legacy Ignites. My name is Brian Mills, founder of Legacy Ignites Coaching and Consulting LLC. Here, new and aspiring entrepreneurs learn how to take full authority over their lives by changing their minds. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. We've got new videos every Wednesday. So really excited about this, guys. This is the second to last step in our 7-step process to creating a new you. Last week, we spoke about your declaration. And remember, your declaration is your formal announcement to the beginning of the state or condition of your life. This week, it's all about repetition. You've got to do your reps. Now, first thing I want to touch on is insanity versus repetition. Now, the definition of insanity, according to Albert Einstein, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Now, I like to think of that as repetition in a negative sense, because repetition is doing the same thing over and over again, but you're getting compounded results. Now, what do I mean? Think about an athlete that goes to the gym, or someone that has gone to the gym for the first time. They start out doing curls to build up their biceps. They start on 25-pound dumbbells, and they're going to the gym, say 3 times a week, and they're doing the curls 3 sets of 10, or whatever it is that they want to do. In the beginning, you're not seeing any results. They're kind of struggling with it. But as they're doing the repetition over and over again, say in the next 2 weeks, they start to notice their muscle has built up. They start to notice that they're a bit stronger. The weight has become a bit lighter. And now they move from 25-pound weights to 30 or 35-pound weights. That's compounded interest, compounded results. So insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result in the negative sense. So if you've been doing something negatively, which most of you guys have been doing, which is why you've been in the position that you're in and you're seeking to create a new you, you've been doing things the same way over and over again, and you've been expecting a different result. That's insane. But now you're doing something positive, repetition of your declaration, and now you're going to start seeing compounded results. Now, what do I mean by doing your reps with your declaration? The instructions and what I want you to do with your declaration is I want you to read it aloud every morning and every night. So once when you wake up and right before you go to bed. Now, why should you do this? Why do your reps? Up until this point, your mind has been focused on negative things, and you've created a picture. You've taken that mental image when you were dreaming and you put it on paper in your declaration. This is your statement, your formal announcement of the beginning of the state and the condition of how you want your life to be. Now you need to take that statement and begin to plant it here in your subconscious mind, plant it in your spirit. The way you do that is through repetition. Now, I'm sure all of you are familiar with the saying that repetition is the mother of all learning. And if you want to create a new life, if you want to move up, just as I gave you the illustration about the gentleman that goes to the gym, if you want to move up, you have to do your reps. Reading it one time or just thinking about it one time, putting it on paper is not going to bring it to pass. You have to do your reps to plant it here in your subconscious mind. It's a very simple thing. Every morning when you wake up, get your declaration out, and I want you to just read it aloud. If you got to get somewhere quiet, go to the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror, read it aloud. Now, before you go to bed, you're brushing your teeth, read it aloud to yourself. Now, what is that going to do? It's going to plant it in your mind even faster. Because remember, I said, sometimes you might not even believe the things that you're putting on that paper. But as you begin to read it more and more, as you begin to do your reps, you're going to plant it deeper and deeper in your mind. Okay, so you're probably saying, Brian, I'm not doing that. That sounds stupid and so simple. How is that supposed to bring manifestation and change into my life? How is that supposed to change my situation? Just reading something every morning and every night. That's not going to work. I'm not going to do that. Listen, don't overlook the simple things. Sometimes it's the simple things that make the biggest change. Let me share something with you. In 2 Kings, the Bible talks about a man named Naaman. Now, he was sick with leprosy, so he went to a prophet to be healed. The prophet sent out a servant to him and told him, hey, go dip in the river Jordan 7 times, and when you come up, you will be healed. Now, Naaman was furious. He's like, I thought he would have came out and done some elaborate thing and, laid his hands on me and I would have been healed. And isn't there other rivers that I could have went and dipped in that are much cleaner and nicer than the Jordan River? Why would he send me there? And he went and left in rage. Now, right then and there, he gave up his healing, gave up his blessing because he was told to do a simple thing. When Naaman left, it was his servants that said to him, Master, if the prophet had told you to do some great thing, wouldn't you have done it? But here he's told you to do a simple thing and you overlook it. Then Naaman humbled himself, went down to the river, dipped 7 times. When he came up, it said that his skin was healed like the skin of a child. So I share that story with you to say this: don't overlook the simplicity of something. You've been doing what you've been doing for years and you're not getting the results that you want to get. Now a simple instruction has come to you and you overlook it. Don't miss your blessing. Don't miss your change. Don't miss your transformation because of the simplicity of the task. Read it every morning and every night. Once when you wake up and once when you go to bed. The simple things of this world are put in place to confound the wise. If you were told to do some great thing, you'd probably do it. But because it's simple, don't overlook it. So now that we've gotten past the simplicity aspect, I want to tell you how the repetition actually works. How does it plant those ideas in your mind? And how do you start seeing the results and know that it's working? And what type of results do you see? I want to share a quote with you before I get into that. It's a quote that I wrote down a couple years back. It says that the first results are often results that you cannot see, but it doesn't mean that change isn't happening. And I came up with those results when I first started working out. And it's the understanding that I got was that even though I'm not seeing the physical results yet, you're not going to see physical results a week into your workout, but there's things that are taking place internally. And as you continue doing the repetitions, as you continue with consistency, those results that are taking place on the inside cause changes to take place on the outside. So just as I said to you before, the reason why a lot of people don't change is because they're trying to change the outside first before they change the inside, because your results on the outside are always a direct result from what's on the inside. So just to keep it simple, the results that you're going to see as a result of doing your repetitions are going to take place inside first. What do I mean? Say on your declaration, one of your goals there is to get a brand new car or a brand new house. Just to keep it simple. As you're reading your declaration morning and night, what's going to happen is it's going to plant the picture of that house or that car in your mind. Now your mind is going to start actively looking for that house or for that car. And what's going to happen is every time you're out on the road, you're going to find that, you get a nudge to drive into a neighborhood that you've never driven in before. And you see the house that you've been looking for. Or every time you're out on the road, you start to notice the car that's on your declaration, the same exact model, same exact year, starts passing you by more and more frequently. What happens with a lot of people at that point is they start to say, man, I never knew so many people owned this car. I never knew it was so common. It wasn't that the car is so common or that so many people own it. Those people owned the car long before you had a desire for it. And those cars were passing you by. You just never noticed them. Why? Because you were never doing the repetitions, and that car wasn't planted in your subconscious mind. So your mind was not actively looking for it. Some of you have probably seen the test where you look around the room, and I want you to notice everything that's blue. in your room. So you take a look around the room, you notice 7 items that are blue. The instructor tells you to close your eyes and tell me everything you saw that was red. And you can't recall the things that were red. Then he says, open your eyes, look around, tell me how many red things you see. And you start to notice, wow, there were so many more red things in the room than you noticed before. Why? Because your mind wasn't looking for it. You see, repetition builds the focus in your subconscious mind and tells your brain to start looking for those things. Now, here's the next part that's going to happen. And this part it's really cool. You're going to start getting ideas, little nudges. Remember, I said before, you might get a nudge to drive down a neighborhood that you've never driven down before. You're going to start getting ideas that can bring your declaration into manifestation. What a lot of people do is when they get those ideas, they just throw them away. They don't act on them. They don't do anything. They just say they kill the idea before the idea can ever, flourish. They say, I don't have the money to do that. I don't have the connections. There's nothing I can do about that. I can't make those steps. Don't do that. Write it down. Don't dismiss the idea. Write it down, because that's your spirit. That's your inner man, your subconscious mind giving you the means by which you can turn those dreams, goals, desires, your declaration into a reality. Those are the first results that you see. And they can't be seen by the naked eye. People outside of you aren't going to notice them. Only you can see it. Only you're getting the idea. Only you're starting to notice the frequency of the seeing those things more and more prevalently around you. Only you're going to start to feel those nudges. Man, before I would go for the Burger King, but now I'm going to go for the Subway because one of my desires is to lose some weight. So those are the first results that you're going to see. That's how you know the repetition is working. But you have to continue with the reps.